our next guest, Mr. Tim Knight. I assume these are shorts that you've been eyeing, if not participating in. How you doing this morning?
Yeah, well, we're only half an hour into the trading day. Micron is something I follow pretty closely, and you just said that's like, it is? And yeah, that's how far behind I am. But it was a funny thing because my trading style is really different than you folks because, and I'm not talking about like the perma-bear thing, I'm talking about just the construction of the portfolio, because basically I just have lots and lots and lots and lots of little shorts, as well as a few long put positions. And so this kind of this Frankenstein's monster thing, and it behaves in a way that isn't necessarily the way the market's behaving. So, for example, this morning, we had a strong opening, and the ES climbed its way up to like plus 85, NQ, RTY, everything green. And it should have been a really lousy morning. And I was down, to be clear, but it has this, as I'm observing kind of the numbers, it's sort of like I've just performed open heart surgery on a guy, and I went to get a coffee, came back, and he's like in a Pilates class. Like, what are you doing? And so the strength of the positions, their recovery is like, okay, this is nice that they're not getting completely demolished. And it was annoying that ES kept climbing, but as you've just noted, we're finally seeing some selling. ES and NQ are still green, but a lot less green than they were. And the RTY is down. So I'm feeling a lot better than I was half an hour ago.
I can tell. There's a smile underneath there. I see it.
Yeah. May we look at a chart or two?
Sounds good.
Please.
Okay. So not a whole lot going on to talk about, but there's a few I wanted to point out. One, kind of my ongoing obsession with SpaceX. It's a funny thing because this thing, for the first 6 days of its existence, was mayhem, just an absolute crazy dynamo. Whereas the past 5 days, it's been like a passbook savings account. I mean, it's just kind of sitting down here. So it does seem to have found kind of a happy equilibrium. When this was going on, I really thought and talked about and wrote about that this ain't so good for the other big IPOs. And, we've all read about Anthropic sort of quietly like, 2027. On their IPO, because this kind of sucked all the oxygen out of the room. But it's important for those things to happen at all, and for the market in general, for SpaceX to kind of find a happy home here, because if for whatever reason it decides to begin its price with a 1 and a 4, people are going to start getting really jumpy. But so far, it's just kind of hanging out. We've, as I say, reached a happy equilibrium. It's funny you mentioned the Micron thing, because sadly, I don't think I'm short them anymore. I've got all kinds of other exposure to semiconductors, but I guess that must be helping, because SMH is a really key position for me by way of long January puts. And we tagged this trend line here, which was a great time to get in. I added to my position here, and since then we've tumbled down here, and this support here is pretty key. And when I was putting these symbols together, we were still having a pretty strong day, but this is starting to kind of threaten the support. We could see this snap pretty soon. We're sort of teasing it right now, so that's very key. In Q, a little bit of the same idea. Key support level down here, and for the past 4 trading days, we've been kind of teasing that too. We were quite strong earlier. We were near Friday's high, but it is certainly within the realm of possibility that before this day's out, we're going to cut below this guy too. ES, this one, a little bit murkier, but let me just bang out real quick. Let's zoom way back. And what I'm keeping an eye on here is what I would describe as, well, really almost a diamond pattern here. Let me see if I can rough this out real quick. I'm not quite as adept at this platform as I would like to be. Here we go. Yeah, something like do. All right, that's not going to win me any awards, but something like this. Let's allow me, because this is important. I really want to try to get this right. Something along these lines. All right, something close to that. So I know that looks like an egg, but I'm trying to kind of trying to get across the idea that we're in this kind of diamond, hopefully topping pattern, but we need to keep making progress. We need to get below Friday's lows, and obviously ultimately get below the lows we had seen back here on June 11. But the kind of innate weakness we're seeing right now is really interesting to me because I wrote this morning about, and you gentlemen might have talked about this already, that there's this clear phenomena going on, like an hour after the close Friday, it's like, the war is back on. And an hour before Sunday's futures open, it's like, peace. And so we get this weekend of like bombings and attacks and so forth. And then like just before the futures open, it's like, everything's fine, everything's fine. And maybe that narrative is starting to lose a little bit of credibility because we were strong based on nothing but that. Like, we're talking again, and there's only so many times you can do that. It would be like, it matters. A couple of other things. Bitcoin continued to be, my disposition here is really bearish. It's a little nerve-wracking because this tends to be percentage-wise pretty volatile, but this is IBIT. It's a big ETF, and it's a honey of a pattern, really large. Weeks ago, I thought we might kind of crawl our way back to 71,000 or so before slipping. We only got about to like 67 or so, and we have been definitely teasing the sub 60,000 zone. So really like my BITI long and the IBIT short. And then finally, with the spider, and this is a bit of a different take, we were just looking at the ES. This gap here is when I've been really watching closely. We were strong earlier today. We basically were at the same highs we saw all last week, except for this gap here. So this gap was between Monday and Tuesday, and my thesis on this was short term. As long as we can stay below that gap, the one or two bears still that exist will be okay. And so far, so good. I mean, as you can see, we've been in a tight range for days now. There's no need for a victory lap at this point, but at least we've sold off from that early morning strength. So things are looking pretty good from my end. So that's kind of my run around the track this morning.
So it sounds like the rally didn't deter you at all. It seems like you're even more emboldened now, especially seeing us sell off about 40 plus handles here.
It irked me. The rally didn't deter me too much. I'm irretrievably stubborn, I guess, but or constant as the Northern Star. We can put a positive light on it.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm encouraged by the fact that this piece is broken out again. Rally lasted about 22 minutes. So.
Yeah, and I think to your point, we've seen, especially with this chart here, we've seen all of those highs get kind of rejected, and selling has been occurring after we've hit those highs. So that's another reason why I've been looking at this portfolio, and any of the bullish positions I've put on, I've taken off if they're quick wins. Not only because we've got a short week with the holiday, but I think if that pattern continues, you can kind of just chop in and out, in and out, in and out, and have a lot of opportunities for re-entry. But yeah, thank you very much, Tim.